I have good news for owners of Nissan electric vehicles. Just a few days ago, it was announced that Nissan has joined the growing list of auto manufacturers that can now charge at Tesla Superchargers. However, the process for doing so with a Nissan electric vehicle, either the Ariya or the Leaf, is more complicated than it is with any other electric vehicle. And that's what we're going to get into here today. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, so Nissan currently sells two electric vehicles. The Nissan Leaf that's been available since 2010, and also the Nissan Ariya that just came out, I believe it was last year. And they use different DC fast charging standards. And that's because when the Leaf came out back in 2010, the CCS1 standard, which is what we have been using here in North America since around 2012, wasn't developed yet. So Nissan introduced the vehicle with a standard called CHAdeMO that was jointly developed by Nissan and also Temco, the utility of Japan that runs the grid. So they created this standard called CHAdeMO, and that's been what the Nissan Leaf has used since its inception. But when Nissan came out with their next generation electric vehicle, the Ariya, they transitioned to the standard that pretty much everybody else in North America was using except for Tesla. It was called CCS1. So Nissan is currently selling two electric vehicles, and they use different DC fast charging standards. They use the same standard for home charging, for level 2 charging, J1772. But for the DC fast charging, they have two different standards. And that's going to affect how Tesla Superchargers charge the vehicles, because now we need different types of adapters. So what I'm going to do here today is first talk about Nissan Ariya, and then we'll get into Nissan Leaf. So for the Nissan Ariya, it's pretty straightforward, as it's been for the other automakers that have gotten Tesla Supercharger access. Ford, General Motors, Volvo, and Polestar. I know there's another one I forget. Rivian. And I own a Rivian. But it's pretty straightforward. You just need a NACS to CCS1 adapter. However, it's a little bit more complicated with the Ariya, and that's what we're going to go over right now. I have here in the box a NACS adapter kit. Kit being the operational word here, that I just picked up from my local Nissan dealership. So let's open it up and see what kit means, because all of the other OEMs, Nissan, Ford, all the companies I just mentioned, they didn't need a kit to charge their vehicles at Tesla Superchargers. They just needed an adapter like this. So let me take this out, wrapped in plastic. So this is the official Tesla-made NACS to CCS1 adapter. But that's not all that's in the box. Look at this other little thing here, which no other OEM has needed. So let's open it up. Little plastic part here. And the reason why this is needed on the Ariya is because of the way Nissan designed the charge port. The charge port on the Ariya has an opening where the charge port, I think on every other electric vehicle, certainly I checked out my Ford F-150 Lightning's charge port, my Chevy Equinox charge port, and my Rivian R1S's charge port. And they all have solid pieces of plastic where the Ariya has an opening, a little cavity. And the problem with that is the official Tesla adapter that I have here in my hand has a little tab in the middle of the two DC pins down here that depresses in when you push this into the charge port of the electric vehicle. The plastic housing on the exterior of the CCS1 port presses up against this tab and pushes it in. And that tells the vehicle that the connector is secured to the vehicle so that it's safe to charge. The problem with the Nissan Ariya, because that's an open cavity, it doesn't hit anything. So it won't inform the vehicle that, or the charger, that it's safely secured to the vehicle, so you cannot charge. So if you have a Nissan Ariya and somebody loans you their Tesla adapter, it will not work currently. What you need to do is clog up that little hole that they have on the charge port. So that's what this kit is. This little plastic piece simply just slides into the hole, and there's a specific way of doing it. Nissan created a video to show people exactly how you take this and slide it into the hole. Once you slide it in there, you leave it in there, and it's fine. It's going to fit nice and snugly. It's not going to fall out. I mean, there's probably other ways of doing it. People could probably fill that in with silicone or something. I'm not telling you to change your charge port or do anything, but I would imagine in a pinch, you could almost put like strong tape over that little hole there. And as long as the little tab inside here connects and pushes in, you're good. That's not good for long-term use. But so the thing about this is, this has an individual part number. This is Nissan part number. It's called the inlet gap, CCS1 inlet gap. And the part number is T99F9-5MP0C. And I looked up on the Nissan, official Nissan parts list, and nothing comes up for it. However, if you do like a general Google search, I found 2 other parts websites that sell Nissan parts. One of them was called Nissan Parts USA, and that one showed the part number there. It's called the CCS1 Inlet Gap Plug-Nissan with the correct part number, but it says it's a discontinued product. And then I found another website, NissanPartsDeal.com. Same, it has a proper part number, and it's called the Inlet Gap Plug, but it also says discontinued. So I'm thinking at some point in the future, you might just be able to buy this little piece here. I'm sure people can 3D print it. It's a tiny little plastic piece and make them, but I would have much preferred to just buy this thing right now to demonstrate rather than buying the whole kit. I don't need these. I have like 10 of these already. I loan them out to all my friends all the time. But for now, at least, it appears that if you want this official gap plug here, you have to get it from your Nissan dealer. The kit costs $235, which is basically the same as what just the adapter costs. I mean, this thing can't cost more than 10 cents to make. So Nissan will probably sell it to you for like $3 or something if they do part it out, which I think they really should. And they gave it its own part number. So I'm thinking that they may do that. The part number for the kit is the NACS adapter kit T99F9-5MP1B. And I called a few of my local dealers. None of them have it in stock, but they all said they can get it the next day. So I ordered it from one dealer, and they did. 9 o'clock the next morning, they had it. So these are available. I know some other OEMs are struggling to get enough of them made, but Nissan evidently has this kit ready. So if you have an Ariya and you want to charge on Tesla Superchargers, here you go. You can do it. Now, how do you charge on the Supercharger? Well, you pull in, you connect the adapter, you plug in, and then you download the Tesla. I always recommend people use the Tesla app. I know a lot of the OEMs, you can authorize the charging session through your own native app, but it seems to just work better through the Tesla app. And then you just select the stall that you're at. All the Tesla stalls are numbered, and you click start charging, and you'll be charging away just fine. Now, I will mention that the 2 adapters that I've been talking a lot about here on State of Charge, the 2 other NACS adapters, the non-official NACS adapters, is the Electron Vortex plug and also the A to Z Typhoon Pro. These adapters do not have that little pin in between the 2 DC pins. So you wouldn't need this if you had the Electron or the A to Z adapter. Now, people can say, well, does that mean they're deficient in safety? I'm not going to comment on that. The point of that little lock here evidently is so that to make sure this is firmly attached to the vehicle. If it's not completely depressed in, that tab isn't pushed in, it won't start charging. These don't have this. So do they lack an extra safety feature? I suppose more safety, the better. However, when you push these adapters into the CCS1 port, if this isn't locked, it won't start charging. And in order for these tabs to get locked, you have to push them really hard into the vehicle, and they're fully seated in. Now, could you pull on it hard and lift it up and down? I suppose. I don't know if you could pull it hard enough up to pull it far enough away from the inlet to release that tab, though. So, as I said, more safety, the better. These do not have that tab that tells the charger that the adapter's pushed all the way in. However, I've used the Electron and the A to Z. I don't even know how many times on my electric vehicles. It's fully seated in, it's secure, it's attached to the vehicle very, very firmly. I don't know if that's a necessary feature, but again, you can't have too much safety. But I just wanted to note that if you do have one of these adapters now, the Electron or the A to Z, you can use it with your Nissan Ariya without putting this pin in. You only need this pin specifically for the Tesla adapter, which is the only adapter that Nissan endorses and says they want you to be using when you charge on Tesla Superchargers and also other NACS DC fast chargers, because up until today, there really aren't many other fast chargers that have the NACS or the J3400 connector, which is what it's called. But they're going to be coming out really soon. So, it's not just for Tesla Superchargers. You'll be able to use the J3400 plugs on other networks really soon. So it's good to have one of these if you have a CCS1 equipped vehicle, to have one of these adapters, because you never know when it's going to come in handy and you'll be able to use it. Okay, well, that's it for the Ariya. As for the Nissan Leaf, it's a whole nother story. So let's get into that next. State of Charge is powered by Qmerit. After I help you decide which electric vehicle charger you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and have the installation professionals at Qmerit install it. And by following the link, Qmerit will waive the $200 on-site inspection fee. But in order to have that fee waived, you have to follow the link in the description of my videos. Okay, so to recap, to charge the Ariya, you just need an adapter, a NACS to CCS1 adapter. If you use the official Tesla one, you got to put that tab in. And then all you need to do is put the Tesla connector, Supercharger connector in the adapter and plug it into your vehicle, and then activate it through either the Tesla app or I'm assuming you could do it through a Nissan app. I don't own a Nissan, so I'm not 100% sure how that works. And you're done. But you don't own an Ariya. You own one of the hundreds of thousands of Nissan Leafs that have been sold over the last 10, 12 years, I guess, or more. I think it's 14 years now. And you want to access Tesla Superchargers. The good news is you can do it. The bad news is it's very expensive and clunky to do so. So in addition to needing the NACS to CCS1 adapter, you don't need that little tab to push into the charge port because it doesn't have a CCS1 charge point. But you do need one of these monstrosities. This is a CCS1 to CHAdeMO adapter. And these are expensive. These cost almost $1,000. So with these, you can charge your Nissan Leaf at a CCS1 charging station. Look at that. You better be strong because this thing's heavy. So you plug in the CCS1 connector and plug this into your CHAdeMO charging port, and you can charge your Nissan Leaf at a CCS1 charging station. But you want everything. You want to charge at Tesla Superchargers also, and you can. So you need the CCS1 to CHAdeMO adapter, and then you need your NACS to CCS1 adapter. Take the Tesla Supercharger handle, plug it in, take the CCS1 adapter and plug it in here. Here you go. Look at that beauty, isn't it? My God. It's nuts, but it will work. And there's videos out on the internet already showing people doing this. So it has proven to work, but it is expensive. You've got to buy this, you've got to buy this, and it's a pretty clunky setup, but you can use these adapters in conjunction to form this Rube Goldberg device to charge your Nissan Leaf at Tesla Superchargers. So there you go. You can charge your Nissan Ariya or your Nissan Leaf at Tesla Superchargers following these instructions. Now, One thing I do have to remind everybody, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier in the video, you can't use all Tesla Superchargers. They have to be Tesla V3 Superchargers or later. The earlier V2 Tesla Superchargers will not charge any Nissan electric vehicle. They won't charge any electric vehicle from any of the other companies either, Ford, GM, all the companies that have them. The only Tesla Superchargers that work are V3 or greater. Now, if you do find a Tesla Magic Dock location, then you don't even need the adapters. Well, if you had a Leaf, you would still need this adapter because the CCS1 adapter is built into the Tesla Magic Dock location. And you can find that through the Tesla app. You can filter out stations where you need an adapter to charge your Nissan or stations that you can charge there with an adapter, and then also filter out all of the stations that you can't charge at, the V2 and earlier Tesla Superchargers. There's no use in even showing them up on your map because you can't charge there no matter what adapters you have. So you want to make sure those are filtered out, but understand when you're arriving, do you need the adapter, or is this a Magic Dock location that you don't need the adapters? Well, I hope that clarified some things and helped Nissan electric vehicle owners understand how you can charge your Nissan electric vehicle at Tesla Superchargers and the upcoming J3400 or NACS DC fast chargers that have that connector on them, and they are coming for sure. I used one just the other day down in North Carolina when I visited the new Iona site. The Iona charging stations are actually, they're called rechargeries. They're going to build out 30,000 chargers in the next 5 to 6 years across the country. Every site will have some of the J3400 or NACS connectors. So while you might pull up with your Ariya or your Leaf and prefer to use the CCS1 station, if they're all taken, you can use the J3400 stations that may be open as long as you have the right adapters. Well, listen, that's all we have here today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get answers for you. I've already reached out to Nissan to answer some questions that I have about a week ago. They haven't gotten back to me yet, which is a little disappointing, but hopefully I'll hear from them soon. And if you guys have any questions that I haven't addressed here today, I'll try to get your answers. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.